Hey guys, this is Nathan and welcome back to Forever Stranded. I hope you guys are doing good today. I am doing amazing. So I did have a little bit of stuff that I recorded between episodes and it just didn't work out, so I had to scrap it. But during that, we made this inventory control panel. So this guy, it takes an inventory panel, a travel anchor, and some weighted pressure plates to make. Not terribly expensive, but it holds nutrient distillation and a little bit of RF. Now this thing is constantly being charged by my wireless charger right now, and it gives us the ability to open, because I have linked it with this panel, it gives us the ability to open that panel anywhere within 5 chunks of that panel. So we can come over here and open up our inventory panel. It takes 100 of the nutrient distillation every time that we open this thing. So you can see I've got 1800 right now. And you can see it's trying to use RF. The RF keeps the inventory open, and the nutrient distillation is only used when it is initially opened. So if I close it and open it again, now we're at 1700. So I do need to get some spots that we can pick up nutrient distillation whenever we need it. But yes, that is really, really nice. The only thing that I can say that would be better here is if we could get to the next level, which is the advanced inventory panel remote. Now this thing takes a staff of traveling and some dark pressure plates and this lower level inventory panel remote. But it also takes Dew of the Void to operate. So I'm not quite ready for that yet. But this advanced one, if we look at its tooltip, it says it allows you to access an inventory panel from anywhere in the same dimension. So we could use that to craft and drop off items anywhere in the overworld. And there is one step better, and that is the Ender inventory panel remote, which uses Vapor of Levity, but it allows you to access your inventory panel from anywhere. No upgrades needed, no nothing. So that is really neat. I really look forward to being able to get some of that stuff done. But that will be something that we'll work on later. Now, what I was trying to do in those clips that didn't really work out was get a little bit of auto crafting done. So we have these inventory sensors, and I have done a little bit of experimenting with them in creative, and I've kind of figured out how to make these things work. The only problem is the storage system in Ender.io does not like to just export items. So if we want to have the items for a Z-Logic controller, which if we look at what this is, and yeah, I think that's actually right, the Z-Logic controller there. So the Z-Logic controller, we need Solarium, zombie heads, silicon ingots, and redstone. And now, we can get these to export, but it's not overly easy to do. So what we have to do to get them to export is they actually have to be being pulled out of the inventory. So I guess all of this stuff, the inventory storage got moved up here. But so we have to have these set not to insert, but to extract or in and out, and then the extract has to be set to always active. So yes, that doesn't really work overly well. Now also I've set up these grids here just so that I can kind of get an idea of what's in each of these. And it is kind of interesting to see, that is the items that are just in that inventory warehouse. And we can move these and see where, what is in any of them. So if I move this one over here, wrong thing. So if we move this over here, we will see that there's nothing in this one. So if we set this to always active on extract now, it will start pulling the items, or it should. Oh, this one's not on insert. We need that set to insert. But now we'll see it'll start pulling the items out of the return area and putting them into the storage. So I do think I'm going to set up one inventory panel on each of the warehouses just so that I can see what is in them and get an idea of what's going on. Now that also means that I'm going to have to run some of the nutrient distillation up here and run it across the back, but as long as the item conduits don't connect to each other, we can do this and we can see what's going on in each one of these. That's pretty handy. So yes, we will have our storage in these areas, and I think I'll probably put another set of these warehouses on top, and that way we can utilize the same cables for each one. Kind of like that idea. But I was trying to get some auto crafting set up, and it just was not really working because of the fact that the items don't like coming in here. Now, there could possibly be some ways that I could work on getting the items to be exported. Of course, the ultimate goal would be to use Applied Energistics to do that, but I'm really enjoying the fact that Ender.io has so much versatility that I never realized it had. So I want to try every avenue that I can for Ender.io before I do that. But I think this slice and splice is probably one of the best chances for doing the automation, because this thing is a one at a time deal. It is a total pain. But I've also figured out a way to make sure that we only export the items that we need. So if we look in this, we have a counting item filter upgrade. Now, I did not realize this, but let's actually pull these items out of here, and we should see new items will go in eventually. But rather than putting them here in the bottom, this is leave that many items in the inventory. This top one is export until you have that many items in the inventory. So yeah, I think we just don't have the stuff set up properly here. So if we look at where we have, okay, our zombie heads are in here, and it looks like this one's set to insert right now. The problem is if we set this to extract, then it's going to try to insert those into all of the other stuff. So I don't exactly know how I should go about doing this. I suppose there is a possibility. Let me try that. So what I'm going to try to do is run the Redstone Conduit down here and have it to where the extract is only active when an auto crafting system says, hey, I need items. That is probably the answer. So yeah, I need to grab a whole bunch of that stuff. Also, we'll probably see that this stuff, yeah, we're pulling dirt out currently. I have no idea where that is going. It's definitely not going into that one. I would be willing to bet that it's probably going into this one here. So, do we have dirt in here? Let's try searching for dirt. No. So that would mean that it's placing it in this one. So, yeah, we can see the dirt is slowly filtering in there. But if we set these all to export at the same time when the redstone signal comes in, we can have them, it won't try to shuffle items around. So that should be really handy. Now, I don't know for sure what we're going to do with our storage drawers system, because that one, on the other hand, it will pull all of the items out of a storage drawer system and put them into an inventory, but it goes a little bit at a time. So that's probably not going to work. But I will go ahead and set these conduits up, the redstone conduits, and hopefully that will all work out. And I'm going to set these guys up as well so that they work for extraction. That way I can drop items if I need to. So yeah, let me get that set up and we'll see if it works. So I think I'm ready to give this thing a try. I've got the redstone conduit set up here, all on the same color as the extract is set for. The extract is also set to be on when there is a redstone signal. So when this thing gets below the level that is set, it will emit a redstone signal. Now, the redstone conduit should pick that up and send it through to the storage units and start exporting stuff. Now, we are doing the Z-Logic controller here right now, and I've got the pattern set up in here. Now, thankfully, this automatically spreads in the slice and splice, so we don't have to worry about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up our inventory. We have one Z-Logic controller here. The uses for the Z-Logic controllers are to make the advanced item filter. So we need a lot of these to be able to make the counting item filter, because it takes one advanced item filter and two comparators to make each counting item filter. So we'll go ahead and make this guy, and we should immediately see, or really quickly, we should see this thing come on. Okay, nothing seems to be happening. It hasn't made the item. This is set to this is set to in and out. Yeah, it needs to be in and out because it needs to be always active on extract so that it can pull the final product out. This is also set to active with signal, but for some reason this is not registering that we have no Z-Logic controllers in the system. Okay, well, let's set this to 0. Okay, it automatically sets it to 1. Nothing is happening. That is not a good sign. So, we do have everything connected here, right? We've got our item conduits going up there. We've got our power lines running up there. So this should be able to sense this. So let's just put a redstone conduit in there real quick. Yeah, it is not working by the looks of it. Huh. I don't know what's going on there. That is strange. Let me double check that we have everything correct underneath here. How are we going to... We need to get this to be a little bit easier to get to. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set this up here. Now, thankfully, it remembers everything. And so then we need these two guys. That one and that one. So we'll go ahead and put this... Oh, that's why we have no power conduit. Okay, let's grab a power conduit. Put that in there. And then our item conduit. So that is good. Now we have nothing there. Let's go ahead and make one of these. So we need 2 silicon. We need what all did we need for this? I don't even remember now. 2 silicon, 2 solarium, a redstone, and a zombie head. So the solarium. And then we will grab a zombie head and a redstone. Okay. And then we will turn off the extract back here. That is not what I wanted. So we'll set this just to insert. And put this in. Oh, active with... Okay, so we'll activate it. Turn this back over to active with signal. And place this back in here. So now, okay, yes, now it is emitting a redstone signal. We can see that the eye has turned red. Okay, so that is perfect. Now, if I drop this into here, that should stay on because we're set to stop when we get to 3. So now we'll put our redstone in here. Okay, nothing is happening. Maybe we need to set it to strong power. Let's go ahead and set this to a strong signal. No. Okay, so let's go around and change all of the redstone to strong signals on all of these. This thing should be active right now. trying to do things. This, we will change our stuff here to strong signal on all of these. Okay, and then our item is set active with signal. Okay, nothing is happening. Okay, something is not quite right here. We're on the redstone channel. Redstone channel. So, as far as I know, everything should be right. If we go down here on our item, so on extract, we're on the red signal channel, active with signal. I don't know for sure what the rest of these do. Active with signal, strong signal on the red channel. This should be working right now. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to pull this out to the side here so that we can actually check and see that we are getting a signal. Grab a little bit of redstone. And yes, we are getting a redstone signal. So why is this not activating? This is not a strong signal. It shouldn't have to be a strong signal, but it's the red channel. These should be trying to extract and pushing items up here into the slice and splice. I am very confused. Well, let me toy around with this a little bit, make sure that I haven't missed a conduit somewhere or something like that, and I'll be right back. Okay, I got it to work. So I changed the item channel to the brown channel, and now everything is working. So we should get a couple of these in here. We are active with signal. Why is this not turning off? Let's take a look at Ender IO. Whoops. It's only showing one in the system. Oh, I have a really bad feeling here. Yeah. Okay, so when those go active, so we're going to have to do something here slightly different. Let me do a little bit of thinking here. I'll see what I can come up with, because we need some type of a temporary buffer here. And you know, that buffer. Let's try that. So we have a buffer in here. This is an item buffer from Ender IO, and this acts kind of like a hopper. But as far as I know, oh, and we have some items in it as I was trying to test things. But as far as I know, this thing should allow us to store items in it. And let's go ahead and grab an awareness upgrade. So we'll grab one of these. And if we place this into this behind here, so now this inventory will recognize, you know, the system will recognize the items in this inventory. So now if we set this thing, nope, that doesn't work. So if we place these in here, it shut down, but where did it put it? But let's go ahead and set this to push. And so the item goes into the item buffer. So let's go ahead and up this. How many do we have? So we have 17 in here. Let's go ahead and actually, here's what we'll do. We'll just pull them out. So that should come on. This should start exporting items into it. Oh, we're active with signal. So it should make a couple of them. And after this one, it should shut down. There it goes. And it actually stopped mid-process. Wow. Okay. We have solved the solution or the problem of auto crafting with Ender IO. So I will put these item buffers above or below, I don't know, but we'll set up a slice and splice for each of the major recipes that we're going to use here. So the zombie electrode, we really don't have a lot of use for those, but the Z-Logic controllers we do. Tormented Enderman head, we don't. The Ender Resonator, we do. And the Skeletal Contractor, we don't. The Skeletal Contractor, the only use for it is to make a dark bow. So we can make one of those and we'll be fine. But yeah, the Ender Resonators, these are good for wireless chargers, dimensional transceivers, dialing devices, and then wireless powered lights, as well as the soul binder to get the sentient ender, which is needed for our inventory panel, and the reservoir, which is something that I know that I've had people saying I need to look into. I tried it in creative and it did not work. So I don't know for sure what's going on there. Now I do know the extra utilities. Fluid node does work, but that to me seems extraordinarily cheaty. So I don't really want to do that. I would prefer to set up a farm with the cactus and have it go that route. But we don't have a lot of things that we need to make in the slice and splice. So yeah, I mean, there's, well, we've got the zombie electrode. What are the, this a zombie generator? Consumes nutrient distillation to generate power. Well, that seems kind of pointless, unless the nutrient distillation produces more power than it takes to make. But yeah, I don't think that we'll be doing that. So we got the Z-Logic controller. The Tormented Enderman head only is good for the Aversion Obelisk, which if we start making a bunch of those, I'll set one up. And then the Ender Resonator. So we really only need 2 slice and splice to make this system work the way that I want it to. So I'll get a second one of these set up. It's going to be kind of interesting to try to figure out how to make it work when I have multiple items that are possibly being turned on and off. Because if the next one turns on, it will activate everything. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to try to figure out. So we have a solution for one item at or one crafting recipe at a time. Now it's to figure out how to do multiples. So I'll do some thinking and I'll see you guys in a little bit. So I figured out a very simple solution on how to make this work. So I changed the redstone channel on the storage units to be blue, and then I have set up here some redstone conduit that is red and green going into a repeater and then going into the blue. So yeah, if we need red, then it will activate the machinery and then say, hey, we are going to craft. Send some items down the brown channel. Same thing with the green. So if we need stuff in this soul binder for these guys here, then we will have it. Now I did have some some conduits get disconnected, and so we ended up with 40 Z-Logic controllers, and it used up all of my solarium. So that's the next thing we get to automate, because we are waiting on solarium here now. So I think the next thing is then to get I'm gonna look for a place that we can put this that it's not quite so obtrusive, but we're going to set up some alloy smelters here and do the same thing with them. So yeah, I'm just going to keep working my way down the line, and as I need more items, I will just continue to make them. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. So I realized that because of the fact that we are doing a different colored channel for input into our storage system than we are doing for output, we can actually change our input and output colors here. So if we look here, we have insert from brown, extract to green. So green is going into our storage system and brown is coming out. So we don't have to worry about that. We can actually have the items directly extracted from the system. Now that also means I'm probably going to want to put some speed upgrades in here so that these will react a little bit faster, sending the items back to the storage, and then also put some speed upgrades in the storage. But because of that, I was able to rearrange the items here so we have our inventory sensors directly above the machine that they are operating, and then above there we can put an item frame with the item that is being monitored, which I think is really cool. This is going to look really neat when it's all said and done. But so I did need to set up the one for the solarium, and it is working. And I think I'm actually going to increase this. We're going to take it up to 64. We're going to go to a full stack. So this should, in theory, start going. Here, let's do this real quick. We'll turn that off and reset it and see. Oh, because it starts at 32 and stops when 64. So let's set it up to 48 to 64. And so we can see the sensor comes on and the smelter kicks up and starts smelting items one at a time. So that is pretty darn neat if you ask me. So now we will always have between 48 and 64 solarium in our system, and we'll have between 8 and 16 of these Ender Resonators, and between 1 and 3 of the Z-Logic controllers. Of course, the Z-Logic controllers are going to take a long time to use considering how many of them we have. We have 44 of them in here right now. But so, yeah, that is pretty darn cool. So I'm going to be looking at some other items that need to be automated, and I don't know for sure what all is going to come up. But I did move the system for relaying the redstone signal down here, and I still don't really like it too much, but it's definitely better than having it up here in this area, taking up a bunch of space. So we will probably end up with a whole bunch of machinery in here just kicking on whenever it needs to make items. And we can see now this thing is turned off. That is really, really cool. I like that so much. So we'll probably be doing this for some of the other items that are not quite as easy to maintain because we have them constantly coming in to the system as well. You know, like some of our ores that we are now getting down here in our ore miner. You know, some of these are going to need to be run through, you know, like we'll want to make sure that we run coal through the sag mill, redstone through the sag mill, all of our regular ores, so like our iron ore here. This guy we're going to want to hold on to until we can get to, I believe it's the pyro concentrator. No, I think we can do better than that. So I think we go to the, no, not the tectonic initiator. One of these will give us a fair amount, and I guess maybe it is this pyro concentrator, but then we need rich slag or cinnabar. I don't remember, but we can in theory quadruple these iron ore and copper ore, basically all of the regular ores. And then also automating the firestone ore will come in really handy because I don't want to be touching that stuff. So that's all going to be some stuff that I'm going to have to look into eventually as well. And I'm pretty sure we're going to end up filling this floor with machinery, and we'll probably have to go up to this floor as well. So we'll just see how things work out. And we can always cover our conduits with conduit facades, and we'll never even know that they're there. So like these chunks of concrete here, we can replace them with conduit facades and have the conduits running through this wall. No one will ever be any the wiser. So yeah, we'll just see how this ends up working out. So far it looks like it's going to work really, really good. So I am going to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to give a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any thoughts about what I've been working on or anything that you would like to see, be sure to leave that down in the comments. And I will see you next time. Bye.